Good morning, eighth graders. You have just finished your Lexia minutes, 25 minutes of Lexia, and now you are moving on to today's lesson. So we finished up on Friday with our Bend 1 essay where you were writing about actionable change and how we can achieve that. We are going to build on that today. So if you look at our learning target, our big focus is that we're going to work to understand complex issues and argue in ways that promote change. And we really want to think about how can we better the world for the collective. For our communities, it could be small communities, it could be the communities at large, meaning like our world, our nation, but really wanting to think about that positive change. And so today we're going to be reading through some sources. You're going to do a little bit of note taking and writing, and then you're going to have some time to talk to a partner or a neighbor. And so because this is kind of a tough section of our unit, not tough in the sense that it's going to be difficult for you to accomplish, but tough in the sense that we're gonna push your brains and you're gonna make it through the other side. And so these are gonna be complicated issues because there's just so many levels to them and there's so many ways that you can take them. So our big focus today is going to be this researching topics, and I have a lot of sources for you, and then you can go out and do some of your own research as well. And then you're gonna land on this idea of what would you like to see changed. So if we move to this next slide, let's think about how we started the first bend. So if we think about we asked the question of what is the best way to achieve actionable change, we're going to grow that to our next bend. It's going to be from now until we leave for holiday break or for winter break, and we're going to ask what possible big or small changes do you see or you can create. And so my example here, and this is just an example, you don't have to actually make this your thesis statement. So this is just an example. I'm going to change this for us. Would be that changes should be made within the world of education, right? For example, class sizes should be 15 or less students per teacher. That is an example. I've done quite a bit of research on the world of education and what would be best for students and what would have the highest impact. And oftentimes they say reduce class sizes is one way to achieve that. And so like I said, I've done quite a bit of research. So this is not your thesis statement. This is just my example for you. And so I'm going to give you quite a few topics, but your focus today is looking at ways that we can make changes or ways that you specifically can make a change through a topic of your own interest. So some examples or some potential topics are this idea of equality. So that is whether it's racial equality or socioeconomical status equality. And socioeconomical just means wealth or level of poverty. You could focus on equality within our immigration. You could think it's border control is one of the big focuses in this text set, or you could look at gender and what it is. A lot of some of the information talks about gender neutral bathrooms, or are we making sure that women are able to achieve just as much as men in the workplace. Some of it looks at why are men most often vilified in children's books, right? The villains. I read one of the articles. It's linked there that why is it oftentimes that males are the villains in children's books? What does that say about what we're teaching children? It's just an interesting topic. And so you can click into any one of these. These are all completely clickable links. And once you click on that, you will be able to investigate. And there are so many sources. It might be a little overwhelming, but basically you can click through. And I recommend looking through at least 3 sources. You don't have to read the entire thing, but you might want to read or watch. Some of them are digital texts. You might want to read or watch 2 or 3 and just kind of familiarize yourself and take notes on what you find to be the most interesting parts of this topic. Once you have done that, like I said, once you've clicked through and you've looked through one of these, but then you also have personal freedoms too. I'm going to backtrack. So you have equality, and then you have environment. This could be climate change. This could be fracking or the oil drilling. And again, you could just say whether you think that we need to make changes one way or another, or you could look into personal freedoms like freedom of speech, protesting, masks, what changes do you see need there? And then we have this example of education. No attached Padlet yet. We're going to be introducing these sources as we go since this is our example. But if you wanted to, you could look at education reform and do your own research here. And so I wanted to show you a quick example. So let's say the environment is your focus. Like you're like, you know what? I love this idea. I feel really passionate about making our world better. And so I'm going to do some research within like what changes need to be made within our environment. And so I'm going to click on this Padlet. I found 2 sources for you that I just pulled from this text set. And so one of the things that you could focus in on, like if you're thinking about a subtopic, would be plastic, right? So the reduction of plastic. So here you have your big topic as environment, and then you kind of narrowed down to this idea after you've done some research. I'm thinking that I want to focus on the reduction of plastic, or like making sure that we're better at recycling. And so this right here, if we go to the next slide, is an example of that. And so here is an article. Again, this is linked in that Padlet, or you can just find it on the slides. You can see here that these teens are trying to ban plastic from the island of Bali. And so you can read through this, and basically it just gives you an overview of what they're doing. This would be an example of a change that needs to be made, and that is currently being made, right? So if, again, you were saying like, I want to reduce plastic. Here would be an example of how this can be accomplished. These young girls, right, are only, I think, like 15 or 16 years old. They started when they were 10, and they identified a problem. They said that Bali is the second largest plastic polluter in the world, and we need to make a change. And so basically, like the Indonesian government, which Bali is a part of, has pledged to invest $1 billion in reducing marine waste by 70% by 70% by 2025, right? And so then this is like the girls here are saying like, okay, we want to help make sure that this is possible. And so if you read through this, you can see like what they are trying to accomplish. And this would be like one source of evidence to prove that change needs to happen as far as plastic reduction. The next link here, this is being a little slow. The next link here is just the same information, but it's in a TED Talk. And so you can go here, and it's just the 2 girls talking. If you're someone who likes to listen and see a video versus reading an article, this is another option for you as well. There's lots of different links. And so that is really what I want you to focus on today. Because if we think about our agenda and we think about what we want to do, I want you to really focus in on making sure that you are researching and developing an idea of what kind of change that you see possible. Because eventually what you're going to do then is you are going to look through at least one topic from the list provided. Okay, take notes on what you find most interesting and invest. And so like that just means clicking through this Padlet, familiarizing yourself, jotting down some notes, and landing on an idea. So some students in my first class decided that they were going to focus on air pollution. And so they then did some research outside of the Padlet. That's totally fine. I want you to start though in our sources, just because those things are already provided for you and they're on level and there's lots of great information. So at least you have somewhere to start. Then this is optional. Investigate one topic that's not found on the list. You have my permission to go outside of this list. This list is safe and it has a lot of information for you. But if you feel really strongly about like animal cruelty or something that is not on the list, you can absolutely do that. So then take some time and investigate that. Once you've looked through at least 2 different topics, right? At least one from the list provided, or 2 from the list provided, and one from the list provided and one on outside, narrow your search to a subtopic. So think about the examples I provided where I said, like, I started with education, but then I narrowed down to class sizes, or we started with environment and we narrowed down to plastic pollution. And so do a little bit more research, right? This is, you can go outside, you can go back into the Padlets, whatever you want to do, but really focus in and say, why do I think that this change needs to happen? And what are ways that maybe it's already occurring, or what are some ways that I could get involved? And so again, think about what you want to change, and then you're going to fill out the form in Google Classroom. So the form that I have for you is, let me see if I can find it here. I thought I had it pulled up. Yes, it's right here. So this will go live within the last 15 minutes of class. So I've let Ms. Cyborn know that this is going to go live in the last 15 minutes of class. And basically, you're just going to fill out this information. Make sure you include last name and first name. You'll click block 5-6 because this is for you, 5-6. If you were watching this from 1-2 and you were absent, make sure you click 1-2. And then you can click, and this is as many as you investigated. What topic or topics did you investigate? Check all that apply. And then did you investigate anything outside of these ones provided? If you did, click yes. If you didn't, click no. This one's optional. If you did do the investigating outside, I want you to explain what topic you did investigate that I did not list, and give just a brief overview of what you researched. And now here, this one is the most important. What topic are you most interested in continuing to investigate? And so this is where you get to pick. And so if you do not fill out this form, I will pick for you because we have to lock in our topics by tomorrow. So it's really important that you are interested in your topic. And so that's why I want to give you a voice and a choice. So make sure that you list here what you're most interested in. It can be from the list I provided, or it can be from whatever research you did on your own. Okay, and now second most important question, what change would you like to see made? So if you picked, so for me, for the example, if I put education in that one above, then my change would be class sizes at 15, so a ratio of 15 to 1. And so that would be where you put like what you want to see change. If it's animal cruelty, what change do you want to see here? If it's air pollution, what change do you want to see? Okay, and then this is just a spot for you to ask any questions or provide any other information. This is really all you have for today, but it should take you the whole time. After our Lexia, you have about an hour. After you've watched this video, probably have about 50 minutes to investigate and really familiarize yourself. Today is an important day, and it might seem like, oh, we're just doing a little bit of research, but I want you to focus in because everything you do today, we're going to build on tomorrow. You're going to have to identify and provide a paragraph or two with a thesis statement of what you want to make change and how that change can happen. And so that will happen by Wednesday. So really use today to build your notebook full of information related to your topic. I will be in the building. So if you have any questions, please email me. I might not get to it right away just because I'm going to be in a training. But please email me with whatever questions you have. But just as a quick reminder, right? Find a topic from the ones I've provided. Take notes on what you find most interesting. Investigate the topic, maybe not found on the list. Narrow. Research some more, think about what change you want to make, and fill out the form. Ms. Syborn is wonderful. She has taught units very similar to this, maybe this unit even, and she will be a great resource as well. So don't feel like you can't ask her questions. She's a great resource. And then you can email me as well. So have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.